Let's discuss this problem from homework, section 1.2, problem number 3. So the problem basically says if you have an equation absolute value of x equals absolute value of y, it is going to be true if either x is the same as y or they have only a difference of the sign. So we want to use this fact to solve the equation that's given here. Well, if we simply mimic the structure, it basically says if you have absolute value of two expressions to be identical to each other, they are supposed to be the same or with a difference of the sign. So the two pieces in my absolute value expression were circled out. Therefore, there are two possibilities. The first possibility is what's inside the absolute value expression are identical to each other, or the other option, they are exactly of the same expression with a difference of the sign. So all I need to do is to solve both of them, which is x plus 4 equals x minus 7, which leads to 4 is negative 7, which is not possible, so I say this has no solution. The other one leads to x plus 4 to be negative x plus 7. In other words, 2x is 3, which means x is supposed to be 3/2. We'll combine two parts together. It's either no solution or it's equivalent to 3/2. Therefore, my final conclusion is the solution of this problem is x being the same as 3/2. If we were to extend the discussion a little bit, this idea does not limit to the absolute value of only linear expression. So if you have something like x plus 1 equals absolute value of x squared minus x, and then you have minus 1, it's still going to be true. Well, the general idea is identical, so whatever is inside your absolute value expression, they're either the same as one another or they have a difference of the sign. So you're going to solve it in two different ways. It's the first one, or you have the other variation of it, which means you have a negative. This leads to a simplified version of the problem, which looks like this, or it is x plus 1 is negative x squared plus x plus 1. Therefore, you end up with 0 is negative x squared. So now you have two expressions. If you can remember the quadratic formulation, you could have solved both of them relatively easily, and then all the numbers you find out are going to be solution of the original problem. So this is about how to solve it. The question now is, why would people say that when absolute value of x equals absolute value of y is identical of saying either x is y or x is negative y? Because absolute value has the geometric meaning of describe the distance. So absolute value of x, absolute value of y, both talks about how far away they are from the origin, from the point of 0. If they are the same distance away from the same point, 0, they are either identical to each other or they are on two different opposite side of the origin. Therefore, the only difference is the sign. So that's why this is true. But you may say, well, if that's the case, considering the original problem, which was x plus 4 is the same as x minus 7, so why don't you flip the sign of all of them, right? So according to your discussion, you said absolute value is either itself or flip the sign of the original expression, depends on what that is. So the left side is either x plus 4 when x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 0, or negative of x plus 4, where x plus 4 is less than 0. The other absolute value expression is x minus 7, if x minus 7 is greater than or equal to 0, or it's negative of x minus 7 if x minus 7 is less than 0. So you have so many possibilities. Why don't you just mix and match and go over all of them? Which means if both x plus 4 and x minus 7 are positive, or at least non-negative, they're supposed to be the same. Or if x plus 4 is positive, but x minus 7 is negative, then the absolute value expression is going to be translated into this. And vice versa, if x plus 4 is negative, but x minus 7 is positive, the original expression, by that, I mean this absolute value question is equivalent to this, Or the last case, both x plus 4 and x minus 7 are negative, so their absolute value is equivalent to negative of x plus 4, the same as negative of x minus 7. So why did we only discussed two possible variations, this one and that one, instead of all possible 4 combinations? It's because mathematically speaking, if you look at it, this problem and that problem, they are the same thing. They are identical to each other. They're talking about the same story. You only have a difference of negative, which was multiplied to both sides of equality. Similar idea, this expression and that expression, they are identical to each other. So to summarize, all I need to solve is one variation. So what's inside the absolute value is the same for both sides, or they have exactly opposite sign to one another. So that's why the original problem, the original structure we had makes sense.